So, legally, I am actually Paul Cascal. However, everyone actually calls me Thomas. And I'm going to tell you why, because you'll see why it makes me just a little bit more fun than most people. When I was just a kid, about 6 years old, my dad was actually trying to convince me about the mix-up at the hospital. Now, most people, when they try to tell this kind of story to their kids with anything of a mix-up at the hospital, it's about how they brought home the wrong kid from the hospital. And if you knew my parents, I was actually hoping that was what he was about to tell me. However, this is what he told me the mix-up at the hospital was. My dad accidentally put down the same name in the first and the middle name, and convinced me that even though legally they wanted me to be Paul Thomas Cascal, he accidentally filled it in as Thomas Cascal. Now, most kids would have been a little upset or very annoyed by something like this. I thought this was the coolest thing in the whole world. I went out and told all my friends, stop calling me Paul. Don't call me Paul anymore, call me Thomas. In fact, call me Thomas because I have a first name that's Thomas and a middle name that's Thomas. Call me Thomas. That's what my real name is. 6 months later, Grandma came to visit, and my parents were trying to explain. They didn't have the heart to tell me that this was all just my dad was trying to tease me. She wanted to have my birth certificate so she could prove it, which mysteriously disappeared that night. So my grandmother actually paid all the state fees to have a birth certificate overnighted so she could hold it in front of my face and show me this was all just a big joke and I should not be telling people what my name is as Thomas, and my name really is Paul. But it was too late. It had already turned me into Thomas, and even though it was all just a big joke, I'm still very happy my dad played that joke on me.